Hello, friends. Today I'm going to tell you a story about a mysterious character in Avatar world. You've all known him for a long time. This is a machinist named Carl. Carl has been working as a machinist for many decades. He spends most of his time at the train station or on trips, driving a train. However, he has a very mystical secret that none of the residents of Avatar world knows about. But today I will tell you about it. Every time Carl gets on his train and closes the door of his cabin, he quietly whispers something unknown. At first glance, it seems that he is just talking to himself, but there is something magical in his words. One day, a young passenger named Amelia decided to find out what was going on in the mysterious driver's cabin. She made her way inside the carriage before the train started moving. Looking into the cabin, she saw Carl whispering some ancient words. Amelia was amazed. She resolutely gets out of the train and tells her friend Luke about the strange behavior of the driver. Together, they decide to keep an eye on Carl to uncover his secret. Every day, Carl continues his mysterious rituals, never once noticing the observers. However, when night falls and the train stops at the station again, something incredible happens. Carl's cabin fills with light and he begins to emit a strange energy. Luke and Amelia can't contain their curiosity and burst into the cabin. Carl opens his eyes and his gaze is illuminated by a light that instantly disappears. He smiles and says that he is not just a machinist, but a guardian of ancient energies, maintaining balance in the world of Avatar world. Every train he drives carries with it a piece of magic, and his rituals allow him to maintain harmony in this world. Luke and Amelia remain amazed by this outright mystery, gaining new respect for the machinist named Carl, who is responsible for maintaining balance in Avatar world. The next character whose mysterious story I'm going to tell you today is a physical education teacher. At first glance, it looks simple enough, but it's not. This is the most unusual teacher in Avatar world, and now I'll tell you why. A physical education teacher named Edward is the brother of a machinist named Carl. Both brothers have always lived in a world of secrets and mysteries. Edward, despite his ordinary appearance, has unique abilities related to the control of energy in the body. One day, during a physical education lesson, Edward decides to demonstrate his unusual skills to his students. He walks to the center of the playground, closes his eyes, and begins to meditate. As he concentrates, his body begins to emit light, and invisible bursts of energy appear around him. The students look with their mouths open, seeing how Edward easily flies through the air, forming streams of energy around himself. This sight amazes and delights everyone, and no one realizes that their teacher has a connection with the mysterious machinist Carl. Everyone in Avatar world starts asking questions and wondering about the origin of the brothers' unusual abilities. Edward, smiling, decides to share a secret. The brothers jointly preserve the balance in the world, Carl controlling the energy of trains, and Edward teaching students to control their bodies and developing their inner potential. Now I'm going to tell you a story about a super unusual character. You've never seen him in Avatar world, but today I'm going to show you him and where he is. It's a robot named Spike. He is one of the most mystical characters in the game. It is mystical because no one knows who is in this costume, but you will find out about it right now. Spike was unusual even for this world, where the most fantastic creatures meet. Its metal shell sparkled in the sun, giving the impression of something extraordinary. No one knew who was inside the suit, and many speculated who this mysterious pilot might be. Spike has become a legend in Avatar world, arousing the interest and awe of the residents of Avatar world. But one day, when the fog of mystery began to dissipate, something incredible happened. Suddenly, the robot opened its metal shell, and a figure completely wrapped in cloth came out of it. And so, before your eyes stood Ella, the most important character in Avatar world. Mysterious and enigmatic, she was the one who directed all the events in this amazing world. Her story, her decisions, her adventures, all this turned out to be behind the robot helmet, under which she hid, embodying her ideas and desires. Spike, as a robot, served for Ella as a kind of bridge between her personal world and Avatar world. Now that the mystery has been solved, the inhabitants of the world could better understand what was happening in their exciting adventures, and how Ella influenced the fate of this unique world. This is how the story of Spike ended, about a robot who was not only a mystical character, but also the key to the mysteries and secrets of Avatar world. Ella continued her adventures, and now the residents saw her in a completely different way, realizing that behind every bright character there may be something incredible and amazing. Now I'm going to tell the story of the next character. You have known her for a long time. Her name is Gwen, and she recently started working as a cashier in a supermarket. But Gwen is not just an ordinary cashier. She has a mystical secret that no one in Avatar world knows about. But today, I will tell you all about it. Gwen has always had a love for food, and after her workday, she would stay in the supermarket for a couple of hours to indulge in the products on the store shelves. But one day, a strange story unfolded. When Gwen was alone in the supermarket after work, she decided to try something new. She approached the section with exotic fruits and noticed a small box with the label "Forbidden Fruit." Unable to resist her curiosity, she opened the box and discovered a berry. Gwen couldn't resist and took one berry to taste it. But when she took a small bite, something incredible happened. A wave of energy surged through her body, and she felt her consciousness expanding. It turned out that this mystical berry granted Gwen the ability to see and understand people's emotions. She became an empath, capable of sensing true feelings and intentions. This was her secret, one she kept hidden from everyone. Gwen decided to use her newfound abilities for good. She started recognizing people who needed help or support and offered them assistance. She could sense when someone was feeling down and tried to uplift their spirits. She noticed when someone was hiding their true emotions and helped them open up. Over time, the residents of Avatar World began to notice that Gwen somehow always knew what they needed. They would come to the supermarket not just for groceries, but also for advice or simply to have a conversation with Gwen. She became a true source of support for many people, and her kindness and care spread far beyond the supermarket. Although Gwen continued her job as a cashier, her true calling was to help people. She realized that her abilities could make the world a better place, and she decided to use them for the benefit of all the residents of Avatar World. Now I will tell you the story of an ordinary character at first glance. Her name is Dorothy, and she works as a hairdresser. Dorothy has long been delighting the residents of Avatar World with her professionalism. But one day, an unusual story happened to her, and today I will tell you about it. Dorothy was the most popular hairdresser in all of Avatar World, but one day, a newcomer arrived at work who achieved great success and popularity in a short period of time. Dorothy didn't want to share the spotlight and decided to undermine her competitor. Drowning in her envy, Dorothy decided to use her professional access to cosmetic products and mix a different hair dye into the newcomer's supplies. She hoped that this would cause serious problems and lead to his dismissal, making her the sole star hairdresser in town again. When a very important client of the newcomer hairdresser visited Dorothy's salon and received an unexpected result from coloring, the anxieties did not wait long. The client's hair acquired a bright green shade that was far from his expectations. The situation was unpleasant and uncomfortable for the client, and the newcomer hairdresser was facing dismissal. A few days later, Dorothy began to realize the foolishness and cruelty of her actions. She decided to rectify her mistake. Dorothy found a way to meet with the newcomer hairdresser and confessed her guilt to him. She explained that her envy and desire for popularity had blinded her, and she regretted the consequences of her actions. The newcomer hairdresser, though hurt and disappointed, decided to accept her apologies. Dorothy and the newcomer hairdresser decided to visit the client whose hair had been ruined together. They offered him a free color restoration and the best hairstyle in Avatar World for free. The client, though unhappy with what had happened, agreed to the offer. Together, Dorothy and the new hairdresser fixed the client's hairstyle. They worked together, exchanging experience and ideas. Then Dorothy realized that they were a great team together. She suggested that the newcomer work together, and since then, the two of them have been delighting the residents of Avatar World.